All right, we are back with our Module 8, Customizing Word and Automating Your Work Project 8-1, and we are picking up on page WD 814 with translating text. To me, this is one of the neatest functions within Word, simply because, if you happen to get a document that is in a different language, you can change that and make it into English. Or if you know that the people that you're sending this to might be of a different language, and here they're referring to a particular college where most of the students and alumni speak English as a second language, that's not their primary. So this is one of the things that they can do to make sure that everybody who receives this can read it easily. Now, if their English is their second language, they're probably able to read it anyway. But if you put it in their native language, it makes it a little bit more, I guess, easier to read for them. Okay, they don't have to work at translating it themselves. All right, so what we're going to do here is look at this. So I've got the document or the template where we left it last time. We want to select an object, the option for translating the text. So the very first thing that we need to do, we need to go to the paragraph that begins with participant's name at the beginning of the document window. So that is right here. So I'm going to put my cursor in front of participant's name. And it says select the entire line containing text placeholder for legal text. All right, so what I want to do is to highlight placeholder for legal text, including the brackets. All right, and then I want to go to the review tab, okay, which I've actually already there. There's the review tab. And then what I want to do is go to, here you have your language group. I want to go to the translate button. Okay, so let's go to translate. And then I want to click the translate selection, so which is located right here. So I'm going to click on that. And when I do, you've got your translator box that opens over on the right. Okay, something that is really important here under your translator section here, you have something called selection and you have something called document. And the thing about you do each one of these, if you wanted to make the whole document, changing the language, translate it to a different language, you would make sure that document was clicked. Okay, but we don't want the whole document, we just want a certain section of it. So we call it the selection. So we have selected what we wanted to be changed. All right, so what I'm going to do is go into the translator pane next to English. All right, I've already got mine to Spanish. Sorry about that. You know I do these ahead of time. So it did say English. All right, so if it says to English, so we want to go from English to English, and that's what it is right here. But what we want to do is we want to click on the bar next to the box next to English. So we've got it in English already, so we want to go from English to Spanish according to what's in your textbook. So you'll take the scroll bar. They're in alphabetical order, so you know you're going to be going closer to the bottom. And there is Spanish right there. So we're going to click on that. All right, and then in the box comes what it's going to say. All right, so next thing I want to do is in the document, so go back over here to the document, I want to click at the end of the line that we have highlighted. So that's right here. So I have it highlighted now, and I'm going to click enter. And when I click enter, that gives me a little spot there, a new line. And then once you do that, you will go back over here to the translator pane and you will click insert. So when I click insert, then what is in this box ended up being over here in this box in Spanish. All right. Now in the document, we want to click at the end of the line that contains the Spanish translation. Okay, so we're going to click right there and get your cursor at the end of the Spanish translation, and we want to press enter. Okay, so we're going to change it and make it a different translation. All right, now we want to go to the translator pane again, and the text we originally selected still appears in that white from box. Okay, so this is what it was in English. This is what it is in Spanish. So now next to the translator pane, next to Spanish, we're going to do the drop down box, okay, or the drop down arrow, and we want to click Chinese Simplified. Again, since it's in alphabetical order, we're going to scroll on up to the top, and here we have found Chinese Simplified. Okay, we're going to click that, and then Chinese Simplified comes up in the box. Now, go back to the translator pane, and we want to click Insert. And when we do, over here in our document, this Chinese Simplified translation appears. All right, now we want to go, excuse me, we want to click in the blank paragraph below the Chinese selection. So that's where I am at. And in the translator pane, over here on your right, we want to change the translation to Vietnamese. So we're going to go right here to, and again it starts, they're in alphabetical order, so we're going to go to the end, click Find Vietnamese. Okay, it changes that, and we're going to go to Insert. And you see that it inserts the Vietnamese translation directly below that. Now, at the top of the translator pane, we will close it, so that X located right there. And then if you turned on the intelligent services on, you're going to go to File. You want to go to scroll down till you find Options. And then in the Options, we want to go to Enable Services. That's not located there. Interface. LinkedIn Startup. Language. Oh, I thought it said to go. Click the Enable Services checkbox. I'm trying to find it. Here it is, Office Intelligent Services. And it says the checkbox to remove the check mark. Okay, and then click OK. All right. All right, now to set the proofing language for the paragraphs containing text in other languages, we want to select the entire paragraph containing the Spanish translation of placeholder for legal text and the wavy red line that indicates misspelling of the words that appear below the words. Okay, so we're going to select the Spanish translation. And on the Review tab, which we're already there, we want to go to the Language button. All right, and then we want to go to Set Proofing Language. Click on that. And then from there, what we want to do, default English is selected, okay, but the spell check icon next to the English indicates that this is the language that is installed. If there are any other languages above the line, it means that the words typed in those languages should be detected automatically as long as the Detect Language Automatically checkbox is selected. So we want to make a note of any other languages that are listed below English that are on my screen and above the line, and you will need to reset this list later. All right, so scroll down the alphabetical list until we see Spanish. In alphabetical order. Okay, so there it is. We have several different types of Spanish here. Wow, look at all those. Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Latin America, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Puerto Rico, Spain. Wow, United States. Uruguay, Venezuela. Look at all of those different types of Spanish. All right, so they want to go to the one that's beside the United States. So we're going to click on that one. And then we're going to All right, click the Spanish United States and click OK. So we're going to do that. The wavy red lines disappear because now we see that there is a spell check in Spanish has verified that it is correct, which I think is a great way to do that. All right, now what we want to do is select the entire paragraph containing the Chinese selection. All right, we've done that. And we want to go to set proofing. And we want to go to Chinese simplified. Or Chinese Singapore is what they're looking for, this one right here. And click OK. And then you tell that the wavy red line goes away because that is now accurate. And we clicked OK. And then the next thing we want to do is the exact same thing. We want to highlight the Vietnamese translation, go to language, set proofing. And we want to go to Vietnamese, which is located here. I'm going to click OK. And again, the wavy red lines goes away. All right. Now, and the yellow missing proof toolbar, actually it came up there. All right, tells you that Vietnamese is not checked, asks you want to download proofing tools. Sam will install the language later, so you'll just need to close that message bar for now, which is what I just did. And we want to save our changes to our template. All right, so we're going to just click save on that. Now what we want to do is go back and reset that language proofing list, because even though it's really nice to have all of those other ones, English is what we need. So we want to go to the ribbon and we want to go to File. And from there we'll go to Options. And then from Options, we want to go to the navigation pane and find Language. All right, and then from Language, in the Choose Editing Languages section here, we want to click Chinese and Singapore in the list. All right, and then if the Chinese Singapore wasn't listed in the dialog box, you could set it before the proofing language. Okay, now what we want to do here is click Remove, because we're not going to need that anymore. All right, and if Spanish and Vietnamese not listed, which they are, so here is the Spanish for the United States. We want to remove that, and we want to remove Vietnamese. So now that the only thing in there is English, and we're going to click OK. Okay, but I'm not going to do that right now. All right, so click OK anywhere in the document and deselect it. Now we want to change. We want to change the we've done that. Okay, I'm sorry. And we want to save the changes to the template by clicking the Save button. All right, that is it for this section. We're going to pick up with adding a custom paragraph border when we pick up from here. All right, everything is saved, and we'll start back here next time.